Well, welcome. Welcome to Celebrate Aging here at Emmanuel Community. I'm Vicki Marthaler, the chaplain, and also your hostess today. And with me is Vi Baker. And Vi Baker lives here at Emmanuel. And we have had the most interesting conversations about 28 years of her life when she and her husband owned and operated the Baker Cafe in Callaway, Minnesota. And the reason this came up was there was just lately been a newspaper article about the Callaway Cafe and how it was used by the area fire departments as a controlled burn. And her daughter, Vi's daughter, Carol, brought in pictures of the controlled burn. But more than that, we started to talk about her interest in the Callaway Cafe back in the 1950s. 1957, when Vi and her husband purchased the building. They rented it for a few months.
Yeah, 5 months.
5 months. And then they bought it, and they had Baker's Cafe. And so we've been talking about the restaurant business and the other businesses that once flourished in Callaway. It was an awfully busy town.
It really was.
It really was.
Yeah.
And for a little cafe that had 4 booths and how many?
7 stools.
And 7 stools. I'm going to show you a couple pictures here of what the booths look like. And then also, she had her daughter scrounging for pictures. And here's some of just the counter space. But a lot of cooking went on those 28 years.
You bet. Yeah, a lot of cooking and baking.
Now you mentioned that which one?
That's a nicer looking booth picture than
all right, I'm going to hold it up
some
so
of the others.
Carrie can get a good shot of that. And this has Dwayne and LeMay Larson in it. And he was with Larson Meat Market.
Meat Market. That's where we bought most of our meat. Like our roast beef and pork, hamburger.
Because you served breakfast and a noon meal and supper.
And supper, yes. And also lunches in between.
And you're also
of anyone that wanted to eat. We were welcome to come.
And for your lunches, you had pies.
Pies.
Homemade pies.
Homemade pies. Sometimes cake.
Okay.
Cookies. Homemade donuts, which was a good go.
Oh,
seller.
I'm sure. You
Yeah.
said you made 7 dozen at a time?
Yeah, that's right.
Like every other day?
Every other day.
Every other day. 7 dozen donuts.
Well, you know, they take a whole handful when they go. People sometimes came in and bought them, you know, so much a dozen or whatever. I don't remember what I even charged them for. A regular price, I would assume.
I'm sure.
When they come and buy them like that, you know.
Uh-huh. Well,
so
so your donuts were a hit and your pies were a hit?
Yeah.
And you were talking about who would come and eat at your cafe.
Oh, we had truckers galore that went through because there was a good place for them to park. And not only that, but word gets around from one trucker to the next in the next town, you know, where they ate.
Yeah, 59 was a major road, wasn't it?
Yes, it was at that time.
Well-traveled.
Yes. And then we had, well, when they were working on the road, we had a lot of road crew construction fellows.
Absolutely. And also on the railroad, too, you said.
And the Sioux Line Railroad that ran through Callaway, they would call us ahead and tell us we'll be there at such and such a time for dinner. And they never missed it when they came. There usually was 5, 6 of them, you know.
Wow.
And they'd come and they'd re-eat and get ready and go again, you know.
Of course.
Their time was limited as to how long they could have dinner, I think.
Because I'm sure with all that food, they could have sat around for a long time over that cup of coffee.
Yes, some of them could have wished they could, maybe.
And how about, there was that lumber yard in town.
Yeah.
The Tomlinsons.
We had many businesses in town. In fact, there was some that I had forgotten about. And of course, the lumber yard was a big item.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, but I think way back in the days there was a creamery in Lake Calloway also.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
And there was 2 banks.
2 banks?
2 banks, one just across the street from each other.
Okay.
And they had a problem between them. I think, as a young girl, I think I heard one of them shot the other one.
Oh my goodness sakes, there are stories too to be told. I bet you heard about those in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you said there were grocery stores.
Yeah.
Was there one?
There was 3 grocery stores.
3 grocery stores.
And 3 gas stations. And,
you drive through Calloway now, and it doesn't seem like it would.
Yeah, now there's not much to Calloway, but at that time, and then there was a bee farmer.
Yeah, Johnson Bee. Yeah, Johnson.
Orchard's potato plant.
There was a potato plant?
Potato plant there.
Okay.
And then the elevator and 3 gas repair shop. Liquor store, of course.
Yeah. Hardware store.
2 churches and a hardware store. And
so you had a lot of business around you and were able to have a successful business as a restaurant.
Yeah, that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I think you were telling me that, and the bus, you were kind of the bus people.
When we first were there, we had Greyhound bus. And then they took that off the line, and then we had the Goose, what they call Goose line from Canada that came through.
Okay.
And they sometimes stopped too.
Uh-huh.
But you know, you get a lot of, excuse me for wiping my nose, you have a lot of coffee drinkers that'll take time to come in and have a cup of coffee, you know, if they're traveling far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you also said about snowstorms.
Yes.
You were remembering some snowstorms.
We had some bad snowstorms when we lived there, and we had kept our place open 24 hours a day, and we fed the people that stayed. Some slept in the booths and some slept on the floor. And,
oh my.
And we finally opened up the beds upstairs, and some of them went up there to sleep.
Because that was your living space for the first years that you were there.
That's where we lived. And of course the beds were all up there yet, the old beds, you know. And they were just happy to have a place like that. Of course, it was warm, it was heated up there, and they had a bathroom. And
sure, well, when you have a snowstorm, you're just happy to be out of the snow.
Oh, I should say.
So a lot of cooking went on in those 28 years.
You can believe that.
Well, Vi is sharing her favorite, most requested pie recipe. It's called the butterscotch raisin pie.
Yeah.
And it is available here at Emmanuel. If you're interested in her most requested pie recipe, we've got it here under wraps. And we'd be happy to share it with you, and also share more stories. This 10 minutes goes awfully fast when we're talking about history and good days.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Is it 10 minutes already?
It is. We're getting the close sign. Yeah. So I think her daughter was so kind as to write up a little bit of that history, and we know that if you want to know more about the Baker's Cafe that was there for 28 years in Calloway, you come on over to Emmanuel and you visit with Vi Baker. She'll be happy to tell you more about it and show you some more pictures. So this is Vicki the Chaplain wishing you a great day, and here's Vi saying, make sure you find someone who makes some darn good donuts and have yourself one.